Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone joining us from across the Asia-Pacific region. This is a very special event. We're always happy to host these Stats Cafés to discuss very important topics on statistics that are of interest of countries around the region. And because of that, we always start with a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because really it talks about the range of the countries that join us in this Asia-Pacific region. So I would like to welcome you to today's Stats Café, which is on modernizing national data portals powered by regional partnerships. My name is Dayan Shayani. I'm a statistician here at the ESCAP Statistics Division, and I'll be your host for this session. I'm excited to have you with us today as we explore how countries like Samoa and Fiji are transforming their statistical dissemination systems using the SDMX standard and open source free platforms. We all know that statistical data can be disseminated through a variety of channels, including national data platforms, interactive dashboards, mobile applications, printed reports, social media, as well as APIs and integrated mechanisms. And each one of these different approaches serve different user needs. And at the same time, having different approaches to disseminating data enhances accessibility and transparency. So today, we'll hear directly from the teams behind these efforts to improve the dissemination through open data platforms. We will learn about their challenges and successes and discuss how these lessons can be applied across the region. And I also want to hear from you today. So throughout the session, we will be using some live polls to gather your thoughts. And also, I would like to encourage you to participate actively in the Q&A session later on. So the program today, we will have a presentation by Dennis Grofield from SPC, followed by two presentations from the countries. Siala Lova will present from the Samoa perspective, and Harrieta Safeti will present from Fiji. Then we will have a Q&A session, and finally, we will have a closing statement by Stefan Schipper from ADB. So with that, let's start. I would like to then invite our first speaker, Dennis Grofield. He's an advisor in statistical process modernization at the Statistics for Development Division of the Pacific Community, SPC. He will walk us through how it all started in our engagement with Samoa and Fiji. So, Dennis, you have the floor.
Thank you, Dayan. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for your time today and for the opportunity to present this project we had in the Pacific region around data portals. So as Dayan said, I'm working for the Pacific community as process modernization advisor. So I'm going to provide a brief introduction to this project. We run around modernizing national data portals and through really a partnership approach. So first, in case you don't know what the Pacific community is doing, a brief introduction. So the Pacific community is a scientific and technical organization active in the Pacific region and serving 22 Pacific Island countries and territories members. It supports sustainable Pacific development through science, knowledge, and innovation. So there are different divisions and different programs there. The division I'm working in is the Statistics for Development Division, which aims to strengthen the capacity of national statistical systems. A program we run is the Pacific Data Hub that aims to support evidence-based policy making and data-driven policy making. So there are different things there, activities related to outreach and capacity building, and also the provisioning of some data platforms for different kinds of data. So there's a Pacific data catalog, .stat statistical database. So there is where we come in the project we're going to discuss today, and that's some other things like a macro data library or also a mapping Pacific map and application for geographical information. So the Samoa Fiji Data Portals project is a project that started 1 year ago. So you see here the cover of the project initiation document that is of 31st of July 24, and then also the first page of the presentation used for the kickoff meeting that took place on 22nd of August 24. So you also see already on these pages that the 5 organizations that were working in partnership there are represented. So the objective of the project was to establish a centralized data portal with modern technologies for offering a comprehensive repository for statistical data sets, with some modern features in terms of customizing statistical tables, having robust search functionalities, or having modern access to data through structured formats and standards-based API, and mainly talking about standards, the SDMX standard in this case. So all this in support of streamlined data update processes and improved quality for, in the end, strengthening trust in official statistics and improve the policy lifecycle. We really worked in this project with a partnership approach because prior to the project, multiple bilateral exchanges took place. And what it reveals is that there were commonalities in the objectives and challenges faced by the Samoa Bureau of Statistics and the Fiji Bureau of Statistics in establishing their own national data portals. What also appeared is that there could potentially be some overlap in the support provided by the Pacific Community, by the Asian Development Bank, and by the UN ESCAP. Having all these organizations having services, providing services in support of SDMX, data management, improvements, and things like that. So there was a potential overlap there. So what emerged is to create a joint project to leverage synergies across Samoa and Fiji, while fully respecting the national focus of the project in each country, and also offer a framework for SPC, DB, and ESCAP to provide a coordinated support to the countries. So there were different packages there. There were some implementation steps, strictly speaking, like the preparation of SDMX content, the acquisition of hosting solutions, so cloud servers in this case, the deployment of the data portal software, that is .StatSuite, and the integration of content. So these are really the strictly speaking, the implementation step, but this was supported by other activities like capacity building workshops. There were 4 of them. Also some work regarding requirements gathering, product design, and things like that, and also support of the technical team at SPC, where there's a production architecture team that supported the project with more than 150 man days of work. Regarding the timeline, so it was a 1-year project, which remained on track throughout the project, which is something quite remarkable. So we started with the requirements. So you see in red the Samoa project track, and in blue the Fiji project track, with the workshop and capacity building one that was a joint one, where during the 4 workshops there were colleagues from both Samoa and Fiji that were there to also to promote the experience sharing and the peer-to-peer synergies there. So there were also technical missions and the launch that took place in March in Samoa and in June in Fiji. So the StatSuite is becoming a standard software, standard solution for statistical dissemination. So it is used in the Pacific region by Australia, with ABS having released its ABS Data Explorer a while ago now. Stats New Zealand also has its instance of the StatSuite and Data Explorer. So our colleagues at ESCAP also have the UN, the Asia Pacific SDT gateway that is also powered by .StatSuite, and at SPC we are running the Pacific Data .stat, which is also based on these technologies, one SDMX and .StatSuite. With our 2 new countries in the region, Samoa and Fiji, we have 2 more of these portals now active in the region and delivering really cutting-edge services in terms of data access and data dissemination. And this gives a lot of opportunities in terms of networking, peer-to-peer support, experience sharing at the level of the Pacific community with the colleagues from Samoa, Fiji, Australia, New Zealand, but also at the global level, because SDMX and .stat are not regional standards, but global standards, and they are used really worldwide, and it really allows being member of a global community of users regarding the SDMX standards and the .stat fleet. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dennis, for your presentation. You give us a good overview of how it all started with Fiji and Samoa. Before we go into this poll, I just wanted to mention that, just a moment. I just wanted to say that it is remarkable, Dennis, that these countries, we started to work with them, and within a year, they already had a data portal in place with quite a lot of data made public. So it's quite remarkable. And that's a question we hear very often. How long does it take if I start today to build a new data portal? How long would I have? Will it take to have one? And I think this project shows that we can start from scratch and reach a very good and functioning data portal with less than a year. And that's thanks to the partnership between different organizations and the commitment also of the statistics offices in the countries to learn and to implement the portal. But of course, this comes with challenges as well. And the poll that appears now, and I wanted to ask you to know, what do you think are the main challenges to modernizing data portals? I'd like to hear from you, and you can choose one or more of these options here. And I'd like to see what are your thoughts. I'll give a few more moments for you to respond to the poll. Okay, so the results are coming in. We have already 19 responses. So the main issues I see is 13 people voted for capacity and skills. So it looks like having the right skills of the staff and the capacity to structure the data and to build a portal are perhaps the most important issues. But then another two that stand out are the coordination among data providers, which is, and of course, this is a challenge everywhere. How do we get data from different places, structure the data, and make it public in our portals? So that also, it's a big challenge. And finally, also funding and sustainability as well of the portal is an issue. So thanks to everyone who voted. I think you can see the results too. And I'd like to then move on to the next presentation. And now we're going to hear directly from the colleagues in the countries that partner with us on this project. And I'd like to then invite Siala Lova. He's the Assistant Chief Executive Officer, ICT and Data Processing at the Samoa Bureau of Statistics. So Siala, you have the floor now.
Well, thank you, Diane, for that introductions, and talo falava, everyone. This means we say hello, everyone who's joining on board from globally. And then, first of all, we'd like to say thank you once again to Diane and the team for giving me the opportunity and to present on behalf of our government of Samoa and Samoa Bureau of Statistics. And it's a privilege to share our work and how we learn alongside with such a knowledgeable community. Well, okay, I was just trying to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Just before I moved on my presentations, I would like to say, like before we started on this project. Like back in 2023, I had a privilege to invited by the ADP to join on the hosting of the Thailand stats portal. That was in Bangkok in October the 3rd, 2023. That's when I got to meet Diane and Stefan and the team at ADP and some of the team from ESCAP. That's when when the launching of the Thailand stats portal, and then I had the privileges to present on behalf of the office on how we enhance data dissemination here in our office using by our primary protocols, using our websites, our social medias, and also what we have available already. So that's when we saw when Thailand had their data hub or their statistical portal. That's when we had the idea. I was like, we want to have our own, just like how Diane, even how small our countries are, but how data is growing and how it's essential for decision making in every country. So that's how it all comes up with this idea, how it started with our office and how we've come a long way now. So moving along in enhancing data accessibility in Samoa or in SBS through the implementations of .stat suites and SDMX. And once again, we'd like to say thank you to the UN ESCAP team, to Diane, and also to the ATB, to Stefan, Jeffrey, and the team, and also to all the team from SPC for helping us setting up this marvelous work and this project throughout the journey. So in the content of my presentations, I'll be talking about how SBS strategic need for a centralized data portal, and also enabling interoperability, and why SBS implemented .stat suite and SDMX, using SDMX, and implementation challenges and constraints, and what measures have we taken to address the challenges, our project outcomes and achievements, and what's next for our office. So strategic need for centralized data portal. Our office, as long as with the other colleagues, we play a central role in collecting, analyzing, and dissemination of officer statistics that guide our national policy making in development planning and evidence-based governance. And then we believe that having a data portal, it will help to improve how we share statistics in Samoa, timely, accessible, and interactive. Also, it will meet the rising demand from users from the public, private, regional, and our global partners. And then also this will link to to one of our frameworks, our Samoa statistics strategy goal, which we have one of our goal too. It will help to improve access and use of official statistics by all users. So as I mentioned before, we have a framework, our statistic frameworks, that the data portal is also aligned with our frameworks, with our visions, our missions. And then one of our goals is to strengthen Samoa statistics capacity. And then we believe that the data portal will achieve this goal. And then in terms of physical infrastructure, and also to how we prioritize statistics that we disseminate to the public and the stakeholders and to the users. Enabling interoperability, why we implemented this CMS, or we call it .stat suite and SDMX, because we believe that it is a free and open source platform designed specifically for national and international statistical systems. And then it's also built and used globally by countries and also international agencies. And we know that this will keep the .stat suite, like how we are now, it will keep us the ownership and flexibility to grow and maintain the portal without having any licensing cost. Well, and we also have the SDMX, Statistical Data Metadata Exchange, and then it is a global data standard adopted internationally. And in our country, we are in the terms of using the SDMX with some of our statistics disseminations. Well, in terms of strategic fit, well, it would direct support our goal number 3 on our statistics strategy, which is how we enhance data quality and standards. And this will also strengthen Samoa's alignments with regional and our global data ecosystem for future-proof our systems for smart integrations. And then we have some of our upcoming projects with our modernization of CRES and also some of our digital IT systems. So implementation challenges and constraints. Well, this is a fun part. Well, first, as we all saw our post before when Diane. So first was the skill gap in the office, how we adapt to these new tools, and then how we implement the content. The .stat suite and SDMX revealed it's a major skill gaps within our office, as most of our staff are lacked in prior experience. And then the second one is with the data cleanup, from fragment to standards, how we have a different format of data and data sets in our office, and then how we structure metadata for usability and interoperability. By creating metadata meant, like in our office, meant more than just labeling data. So our office, they had to be structured for easy processing, sharing, and reuse of all of this data that we have to disseminate. One of the challenges is building understanding across a government agency. But so far now, how our projects we are doing, we haven't gone out yet to across agency. We are focusing more internal in the office before we move out to expand more. So we are doing baby steps, but I guess now we can move forward from that baby step once we are comfortable that we can explore more data sets. And then all these challenges areas directly linked to our strategy, statistics strategy. Goal number 4 is how we can strengthen institutional and also with our human capacity. Of course, that's mostly one of the challenges here in the Pacific Islands with the human capacity and with all the resources. So next one, how these measures were taken to address the challenges. Well, like I said before, we had a really great bond with the team, with our technical team, with our stats technical team, with addressing all this project from the starting to the end. We have the team, Diane, Denise and their team from SBC, and also Stefan and Jeff from ATP and Rara from SBC as well, addressing all this. We are working alongside, having a really great team. And then we have this comprehensive technical training programs here in Samoa that we collaborated with SBC, ATP, and also with ESCAP. And then, so with us, we prioritize a higher impact. As you may see that with the launching of our stats portal, we have a limited domains online. So we were focusing how we can have our high impact data set or domains published before we can move forward with our key data set with other key data sets. Once we have that really comfortable zone. And strong executive support. Well, in our office, our senior leadership, they're really coming in strong, and how they acknowledge with this modernization of statistics and how moving forward from how the technology is right now, and then supporting the future with statistics. Well, the project outcomes and achievements. Yes, we did launch our stats portal. As you can see it's on the data.sps.gov.ws, and this is the home screen of where you can see, of course, yeah, you can see it online. But before we had the .stats SPS, we only had our websites, and also with our dashboards, and then with our microdata. Those are some of the project that we are moving forward for. But then we launched the data portal. Next one, our project outcomes and achievements. So on our website, please feel free to visit our news and events. You will be able to view how the stakeholders from the public sector, private sectors have joined us with launching of this of our data portal. You can see some of the photos here with the colleagues and the team. Well, pretty sad that Diane was not able to make it during the launching. Now, what's next for our office? Well, as I mentioned before, when we have that comfortable zone that we can move forward from what we have at the moment on the data portal. So our aim is to expand the data portal by publishing additional key indicators and data set, and then wish to provide more comprehensive and timely statistical information for users, and to focus on sustainability. Yeah, this is one of the main one is how we maintain, and for the sustainability of how we can maintain this project. Well, unfortunately, we also have a strong team from SBC that we've been working alongside with Denise and their team there with our network infrastructure and where the portal has been launching. Well, our final reflection on this project is how we achieve so much within this year is all about trust, efficiency, and impact between our office and our regional partners. And then the data should be open, accessible, and timely. And then our office is committed to continuous improvement of this project and moving forward, how we can interact the data portal with some of the other systems. As we see one of the main features of it is it supports API. And then that's it from my side. Thank you very much. And whaftai te lava.
Thank you so much, Siala. Very, very comprehensive presentation. I'd like to highlight, and I think this is interesting for many countries, is that you can start a data portal even with a subset of all your data. You don't need to have everything ready, right? As you said, you prioritize the high impact data sets to be published first, and now you're still working on other data sets to go into the portal. And another thing also is that how it complements the dashboard, the other dissemination channels that you have, and you're thinking of how to integrate them, right, through using the APIs. So this is also a very interesting topic. So thank you so much, Siala.
Thank you for my time, Diane.
So before we go to the next presentation, I also have a poll for you. And it is, I'd like to now know from the audience, I see that there are people from many different countries and also from different international organizations. I'd like to know whether you are already in the process of exploring an open source platform for a data portal, or you're still thinking or need more information about this, or you're depending on resources, or you prefer to, or not, or you prefer to develop your own solution or use some paid or proprietary solution. So I'd like to now hear from you if you can choose one of these 4 options. I'll give you a few more seconds to respond to this poll. Okay, so we already have 13 responses. And wow, surprisingly, most responses are yes, already exploring. So I see that many of the participants are already familiar with open source platforms and already exploring them. There's 1/3 or 5 responses that are looking for more information, and a few others that responded the other options. So, okay, this is interesting. Well, it's a bit of a biased question, because I imagine that if you join this webinar, it's because you're already interested and or either you're exploring or you already have something similar. So, but of course, we are here to discuss this and perhaps even take it on later after this webinar, how we can even work together to have more accessible data in all the countries in Asia Pacific. So let's move to the next presentation. And now we're going to hear from the Fiji Bureau of Statistics. We have here Harrietta Safati. She's a statistician at the publications unit of the Fiji Bureau of Statistics. And together with Samoa, the two countries work together in this project with SPC, ADB, and us in ESCAP to develop their data portals. So we'd like to hear now from her their perspective on this project and how it has, what challenges they had and how it has benefited them. So, Arietta, are you here? I'd like to ask you to turn on your camera and share your screen. Okay, I can see your screen now.
Fiji's lessons, challenges, and success stories. With support from the ESCAP, SPC. Firstly, welcome to our session on Fiji's experience in adopting SDMX and National Data Portal using the .stat suite platform. This journey was made possible through strong regional and international partnerships, ESCAP, SPC, and ADB. And we hope the session inspires other countries to modernize their own data dissemination. I will just dive straight into it. Why did we choose to implement a data portal? Mainly to improve dissemination. As shown here on the right-hand side of the slide is a snapshot of the Fiji Bureau of Statistics official website. Standard practice is users access our website, go to whichever topic that they're interested in, download via PDF and Excel version files. Why did we choose to implement the data portal? To improve dissemination by providing users with a more interactive, user-friendly way to access official statistics. Secondly, to enhance data sharing, support collaboration across ministries by centralizing statistical outputs, and also to improve data accessibility by broadening access for users to timely and relevant data. Why .StatSuite and SDMX? Tools like .StatSuite and SDMX offer integrated metadata features which are essential for assessing data quality produced by the Fiji Bureau of Statistics, and also to help Fiji monitor and improve the reliability, and structure of our statistical outputs. Some key challenges faced, mainly financial constraints, limited internal funding, system development training. Secondly, knowledge gaps, initial lack of technical expertise in using SDMX and .StatSuite, and IT infrastructure, lack of knowledge on tools in implementing.
Arietta, can you please speak a bit closer to the microphone? I see the participants are finding it difficult to hear you.
Okay. Sorry, Diane.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, as loud as you can, please.
Okay. Moving on. How did we overcome these challenges? Mainly through partnership support, financial support from the ESCAP, SPC, and ADB, and technical support through regional trainings and workshops provided. And also with the successful launch of our data portal early in June with strong stakeholder engagement. Successes from the project, Fiji now has a fully functioning SDMX-based national data portal, and this would improve collaboration and communication across statistical units and ministries, greater data transparency and accessibility to support national development goals, and also boosted technical capacity of FBOR staff through targeted training and knowledge exchange. Lessons learned for other countries. Increase your awareness of the evolving developments in data and technology. And I'm not just speaking for other countries, but also for Fiji as well. And adopt modern tools to improve the efficiency, quality, and visibility of national statistics. And this strengthens collaboration between NSOs, government partners. A closing message looking ahead. The transformation of data dissemination Fiji is just the beginning. We encourage other NSOs in the region to embrace SDMX and .state for better data governance and transparency. With support from development partners, this can be achieved together and more. And if Samoa can do it, if Fiji can do it, other countries can do it. And I'd like to close this presentation by thanking once again, thank you all for listening, and thank you especially to the ESCAP, SPC, and ADB. Pinaka.
Thank you very much, Harrietta. I'd like to highlight this very nice collaboration that was created in this project, that Fiji Bureau of Statistics was able to go to Samoa and participate in the workshops in Samoa, and vice versa as well, that colleagues from Samoa also went to Suva, to Fiji, to participate in the workshops. And that's one thing that I think will be very valuable, is to create this type of network of different NSOs that are working to strengthen their data dissemination, so we can exchange experiences, and we can have a peer connection kind of support with each other. And I think this was a key learning for all of us in this project, and something that we could replicate in other parts of the region. With that, I think we should move now to the Q&A part, and the participants can actually ask questions to anyone. But before the Q&A, I have another poll, and I promise you this is the last one. And I would like to hear from you now. Type one word that you think will be the kind of support that you find will be most helpful for your organization data modernization efforts. So what exactly you think would be the most helpful support that you'd like to see from other countries, from the international organizations, from developing partners? What kind of support do you think would be the most helpful? So you can type one or two words. And in the meantime, you can also think, if you have any questions, you can either type your question in the chat, or you can also raise your hand, and then I'll invite you to ask your question directly to the presenters. I'm looking at the responses, and I see that many of you are highlighting the need of training. So that seems to be a key part of this is to have more training on data dissemination, on data modernization. So we want to enhance the capacity of our staff to do this kind of more innovative and more modern work. Some of you have also highlighted the peer exchanges and peer learning, as well as data governance, infrastructure, statistical systems. Thank you. But I see that overall the training aspect is perhaps the most important one for most of you. Thank you very much. We're now open for questions. Does anyone would like to ask something to this three distinguished speakers? Yes, Felipe from FBOS is highlighting here the need for funding for more capacity building. Also a very important point. I see the hand of my colleague Christoph from the Statistics Training Institute, SIAP. So Christoph, please.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for this very interesting presentation, and congratulations for doing all this work. I have some a follow-up question to the polls. Actually, in the first poll, you asked us you asked everybody what were the blockers, and I see that these three countries have overcome these blockers by finding the capacity, skills, funding, all of that. And now we see in this poll that the most important thing seems to be training. And I would like to ask our speakers a little bit more information about what sort of skills are really the one they need or they need to be trained. What really is key, what was missing, and what was the unblocker somehow in the support you get, more specifically in this training part.
Thank you, Christoph. Very good question. Perhaps Ciala and Harrieta could tell us more. What is the training that you found helped the most in making this project successful for you?
Okay, I'll start from my side. So from the SPS here in Samoa, in terms of training, so because with here in our office we have different divisions and we have a different way of operating, but with the dot stats suite we have a different levels of how we disseminate the data. So, but everything else is done by our side here with the IT and our data processing team. So with us, so everyone does a bit by bit of everything here in stats. But I guess like to put in this simple word, I think we need more of those on hands, because we do have a briefly technicality of how to upload the data on a data lifecycle management and how we disseminate it and publish it with the front end. So I think with us is more like on how we're practicing on those, so until we get more comfortable. So with let's say for example, because what we've working on so far is has already been provided with the SPC and the colleagues, but I think with us it's more like a refreshing, and then on the training on how we have to what do you call the word? How the data is being breakdown with all our different Excels and with us in terms, and also we also have a technical side which we like to have more training on how to look after the server itself, because we believe that the contents management system is run on a different technology which is used by now as Docker. So I think with both back end and the front end, but with us, like all of us, like let's say for example myself, I'm looking after the back end, and then I'm also in charge of the front end as well, because the other side that's how we operate here. I think this is how we need to be more. We do have the comfortable. We're still working with the team from SPC Rara and how we can automate this by using the R. So, but it's still in the learning progress. But hopefully we can manage to pull that off on how we can automate it with using the R with the team from Rara here. So I think that's from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Ciala. Yes, I think you highlighted two important points. One is the process, right? How the operations should work, and that it requires also training because many people are involved, and they need to know what are the steps to structure the data and publish them on the portal. And the other one is how to automate to make it even more efficient, and using free and open source tools also that can automate a lot of the work for you. Excellent. Anyone else would like to add on this question of what are the training needs in terms of implementing a data portal? If not, there's another question also here on the chat from Billy Sommers of the Papua New Guinea Statistics Office. He asked, how did SBS and FBOS deal with fragmented data, and were there any workflows that you would recommend? Maybe, Billy, would you like to ask the question yourself? If you can unmute yourself and...
Sure. Is my mic clear or? Yes,
I can hear you well.
Good. Okay. So I think this is a question to maybe Siala and Henrietta. First of all, congratulations on the launching of the DotStat platform. It's really amazing to see our member countries in the region taking this big step forward to improve data dissemination and enhancing how we access data within the region. So I think my question is more to deal with the data, the fragmented data that we have within NSOs. And so we have a lot of domains that we deal with. So, for example, with census, with surveys, and also the collections that we do on a periodical basis, like the CPI and other official statistics that we produce. And so I was just wondering, how did you guys deal with this type of sort of bringing everything together under a container, or any workflows that you might suggest to us that we could, those of us that are interested in following suit, can we learn from what you guys have done? So yeah, that's basically my question. Yeah.
Thank you, Billy. Maybe Arieta or Siala, would you like to answer this one?
Hi, Billy. With how we deal with data fragments here in SBS. So with the process of having the DotStat suite, so within data fragments. So here in SBS, in our office, we have different divisions. So let's say if you see our data portal, we've got those 5 key indicators, which is we have the CPI. So let's talk about CPI. So all the data is being produced from the CPI divisions. So they are the one that usually gather the data from different sources, and then what they publish in those tables. So those are the one that we implemented into the format that we publish. So I think in terms of the data fragment that you're talking about, it's within that divisions. All we do, we go with those divisions that produce those data, and then we pull it from them with those tables that they publish. But with us, we don't have any terms. The only constraints from us is trying to verify and double checking if this is the right data or the right table, if it's the final version that they publish with those different versions. But in terms of data fragment, that is something that those divisions that produce those indicators, and then we pull that numbers from them. I'm not sure if that helps answer your questions from my side.
Yeah, thank you, Siala. I think that pretty much answers the question in some sense, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to add, Billy, to Siala's answer. I think the approach that SBS and FBOS are taking is that they will request the different units for their data and then format and upload into the portal. But I'm starting to see that the next level of organization is to actually have a kind of a unstructured repository of data that all the different units in the statistics office, as well as outside in the other line ministries, can actually upload their data into that, and that kind of like a data lake or a data. It's really a data repository that from there you can then structure the data and then publish on the portal. And then there's yet another level from there, which is actually that the data provided by the different units would be already structured and formatted, and that could be easily then automated into the portal. But I think that there are different levels of automation and organization that we can achieve. But to have that kind of a data repository, I think, and you might be familiar, Billy, there are some open source solutions as well, like CCAN, that I have seen a few countries using that together with .stat to automate and to improve the data sharing and then publishing. So that's an approach that I'm starting to see many countries taking. So thank you for this question, Billy. I think we're kind of running out of time, so I might take one more question. I see Kapil, you're from the National Statistics Office of Nepal, right? Would you like to ask a question? I see your camera is on, but it's kind of frozen. Okay, so maybe the camera is frozen now, but let's do this. We have our final presentation today from our partner, the Asian Development Bank. We have Stefan Schipper. He is the principal statistician in the data division of the Economic Research and Development Impact Department of ADB. And Stefan has been quite instrumental in putting together this project and in supporting all the activities. So we would like to hear now from Stefan a little bit from his perspective. What are the next steps after this? How do we continue to support countries in the region, and where countries can find resources to help them in this journey of enhancing and modernizing their data portals? So Stefan, please.
Yes, thank you, Diane. Thanks for introducing me. My name is Stefan Schipper. I'm a principal statistician in the data division of the Asian Development Bank. Thank you all for the engaging and active discussion today. Thank you, Dennis, Siala, and Harrieta, for your excellent presentations and sharing your insights on modernizing the national statistical data portals in Samoa and Fiji. As you can see from the slide, we had some bilateral exchanges since mid-2023, and we have discovered commonalities in the objectives and challenges by the Samoa Bureau of Statistics and the Fiji Bureau of Statistics in establishing their data portals. And we also have seen that there's a potential overlap in the support that the Asian Development Bank, the Pacific Community, and ESCAP could provide in this project. So the key takeaways are that we have leveraged the synergies across Samoa and Fiji while respecting the national focus of each of the data portal. And this project has offered a framework for SBC, ADB, and ESCAP for a coordinated approach. And it is really remarkable that after less than a year after the launch of the project, the national data portals in Fiji and Samoa have been released to the public. Without the strong commitment of the countries, this would not have been possible. I would like to once again congratulate the Samoa Bureau of Statistics and the Fiji Bureau of Statistics on the release of their data portals utilizing the global standard for statistical data and metadata exchange, or the SDMX standard. So building on the success of Samoa and Fiji, SBC, ADB and ESCAP are currently scoping the second round of support to Pacific Island countries on the modernizing of their data portals. And I'm also very pleased to let you know that the Asian Development Bank has just approved a technical assistance project for supporting the adoption of the statistical data and metadata exchange standard in selected ADB regional developing member economies, and Indonesia and Vanuatu will be part of this journey. If participants, we have seen from the polls that there's a great interest in establishing national data portals on the SDMX standard. There are several resources on SDMX. For example, there are e-learning courses available for the SDMX Foundation, for SDMX tools. There are more courses available at the .stat Academy or at the sdmx.org learning site. There's also a report on enhancing data and metadata management through the SDMX standard, where the highlights of benefiting the SDMX standard are described. And there's also a policy brief on making data easily accessible, leveraging on the SDMX standard, which discusses on how the SDMX standard streamlines data exchange and enhances data quality. So there's also every second year a SDMX Global Conference. This year, the SDMX Global Conference will take in Rome, in Italy, from end of September to the beginning of October, and registration is available now for in-person participants or online participants. The SDMX Global Conference is held every second year and is dedicated to producers and users of structured data, providing a unit platform to share their knowledge. Thank you all for joining today's Asia and the Pacific Stats Café.
Thank you so much, Stefan. And I think we have a lot to look forward with working together with you and with SPC and other partners to enhance the data dissemination across the whole of Asia Pacific. We really don't want to stop here. We would like to continue and work with Samoa and Fiji as well as with more countries. So if you'd like more information, if you'd like to discuss your specific situations with us, I will be very happy to have a conversation with each of you. So I'm leaving my email address in the chat. So feel free to write to me if you'd like. And I think I'd like to thank all the presenters today. And I'd like to thank all the participants also for your time joining us at this Stats Café. I hope it was informative to you, and we hope to continue this conversation further. So thanks, and have a very good day, everyone. Or a very good night, maybe. Bye-bye.